Isley Brothers.
Oh, shit.
Now, if you guys didn't realize, by their name, the Isley Brothers, they're brothers. Okay? I just want to clarify that. They are, in fact, brothers with the last name Isley. Okay? Ronald, Rudolph, and I think there's... How many of them are there?
Don't ask me. I
All right.
don't know.
Well, this is really...
Let's phone a friend.
This is really...
Whose parents you want to call? Mine or yours? Yo! That's a mic drop right there.
Okay, well, in this particular... so I think it's three brothers, but this is about two of them. So, I'm just going to read what Yahoo posted because I don't have the whole story down, so I just want to make sure that I'm not misrepresenting this. So...
You got it or you need a second?
No, I got it.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
So this says, according to TMZ, Rudolph Isley is suing his brother Ronald. Yes. Ronald, who we know very, very well. You know, you're contagious.
That's so funny. Baby. That is the song everyone goes to when they say his name. That's so interesting.
Yeah. For many reasons. But also, I feel like their songs together... while he's the face and, like, I guess the lead singer of the whole thing, they're still all very much involved on their music. So if you're talking about Ronald Isley by himself, I feel like that's one of the popular ones that people go to. But anyway.
I agree. Do you know what each brother does?
Am I supposed to know?
No, but I know.
Okay.
So, thanks to another podcast.
Mm-hmm. You be saying another podcast like we don't know the one podcast you listen to.
I listen to more than one podcast, thank you very much. I listen to your podcast.
We know your favorite podcast, though.
I don't know what you're talking about. My favorite podcast is Man Cave Mondays.
Yeah, whatever.
My second favorite podcast is G Squared.
All right. So, according to TMZ...
Wait, let me tell you what they do.
All right.
You don't want to know?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, so Ron Isley, we know, is the lead singer.
Mm-hmm.
And so, the other brother who's not part of the lawsuit, what's his name?
I don't remember his name at the moment. And I don't
All right,
know.
well, it's Rudolph, Ron, and another brother in the band. The other brother plays the guitar. Mm-hmm. And there's lots of music where you hear the guitar.
Yeah.
That's that brother.
That's a big part of their music.
Correct. And so Rudolph, and this is where it gets a little interesting. Rudolph does backup vocals.
Yes.
But wait, there's more. Because when you look him up and look up his contributions, it says backup singer. Like backup vocals. Mm-hmm. And so when you hear that, you're like, man, fuck him, get out of here. Until you do a little more research, mm-hmm. and you find out that he has co-writing credits mm-hmm. on a bunch of the hit records that the Isley Brothers have.
Mm-hmm. Right. So, here we go. According to TMZ, Rudolph Isley is suing his brother Ronald over the Isley Brothers trademark. Rudolph is arguing Ronald went behind his back mm-hmm. and made business transactions and cut him out of a significant amount of money.
Mm-hmm. The splits.
Right. The lawsuit states Ronald applied and got approved for the trademark in his own name 2 years ago. He was awarded exclusive rights to all visual recordings and audio-visual recordings featuring music and animation.
Yep. Meaning
he's been collecting all of the group's profits since 2021.
Yep. 21.
Now Rudolph wants a piece of the pie. He's asking a judge, I hate the way that's written, because he wants a piece of the pie. Like, he is part of the pie.
Well, he wants a piece of the pie he has been denied.
Of course. I'm just saying, when you say it like that, you make it sound like he's trying to get something he doesn't deserve. Anyway, that's just the way it's written. He's asking a judge to look into Ronald's accounting to see how his money compares to Rudolph's. He also wants half of everything Ronald has made since acquiring the trademark, TMZ's report stated. The 83-year-old alleges that he and his younger brother are supposed to split all of the band's profits down the middle, including their bigger multi-million-dollar deals. They came up with this arrangement back in 1986.
Yes.
We were cooking. We were literally, well,
baking.
One of us, maybe both of us, because you're older than I am. So that's why I'm like, I mean, you know, we both.
You still conceived in 86, no?
Yeah, but, you know, there's some, we don't know when that happened. I'm just saying. Anyway, we were cooking in 86.
You want to call your parents or mine?
I mean, I know when I was conceived.
Oh, shit.
I was conceived on my parents' honeymoon.
All right.
I was.
I wasn't ready.
I was a honeymoon baby. Anyway.
There's the name of our episode. The Honeymooners.
Anyway, they came up with this arrangement back in 1986 when their brother O'Kelly passed away. Rudolph says he went against that agreement when he applied for the trademark changes in 2021.
That's true.
The plaintiff was an original member of the Isley Brothers and worked in music for more than 4 decades before retiring in 1989 to become a minister. Per OK Plate. Whoever wrote this very terribly.
Very terribly.
Making bad took a brief. Okay, this is just saying who's left. So who's because it was more than
corrected.
It was more than 3 of them, and a couple of the brothers died. And they said that they after the deaths of their brothers, they reformed sometime later. First as a trio, then later added their younger brothers Ernie and Marvin, and producer Chris Jasper. Marvin died in 2010, 25 years after O'Kelly. The band's current members are Ernie and Ronald. So Rudolph is not in the band anymore. Correct. Rudolph left the band, but Rudolph is like, hey,
I got this paperwork.
You owe me money for, you know, we made an agreement and you went back on the agreement.
Bitch better have my money.
Y'all should know me well enough. What do you think about this?
I think
brothers feuding over money.
I think that's just a regular day in the world. Mm-hmm. I mean, if we keeping it real, money is something families fight over all the time.
All the time, yeah.
When people pass, when somebody gets a payday, when somebody gets a raise, I mean, anything. I mean, you could get a fucking scratch-off ticket. Niggas be like, hey, where's my part? You still owe me $5 from 76. You be like, damn, nigga, you want $5 from 76? I'll take your little $5, bitch.
And yeah, that's true.
So it's not a new thing. Money destroys families. Really, greed destroys families. I don't know what's true and not true.
But let's say what I just read was true.
That they had an agreement since 86. Ron fucked up and he got to pay how he weighed.
Yeah.
50%.
I agree.
If the paperwork from the 80s says 50%, then it's 50%.
But why be shady now? Y'all in y'all.
Because that's probably when Versus hit them up. And a bunch of other stuff.
Yeah, that's true. When more money started rolling in, money that they weren't making before. But that's just such a messed up thing to do.
Oh, yeah. I don't think anybody's going to argue that Ron is within his right. I think it's pretty obvious that if the paperwork from the 80s is true, Ron is foul. I don't think there's anyone who's going to argue against that, but that's probably why, because look at all the categories that were specified in the trademark.
Right.
And so if that's what's in the trademark, that's there for a reason. When you do things and specify, it's because you're aiming to do that.
Yeah. If
I say, hey, I'm trying to make sure that any camera with a J on it is my trademark, well, I'm about to put out some cameras with a J on them.
Yeah.
That's why, because you don't just trademark shit for the fun of it. I mean, unless you're trying to fuck with the NFL. You know about that?
No.
When the NFL had to change the name Washington Redskins this dude in Washington was like sitting at home coming up with all these names that the NFL might change the name to.
I remember.
And he
that.
trademarked like 20 names.
That was really
some
smart.
fly number of names. And so for a season, they were just called the Washington team.
Yeah.
They couldn't even have a name.
That's actually was really smart of him.
Fucking love it. But and that's the only kind of person who's going to do some shit like that. I mean, you're not going to trademark some shit without a plan.
Right.
And so, yeah, clearly there was some shit that came through or was in the works. And he said, I want this shit for me. And so he cut out his brother. And this is if, in your example, if the paperwork from the 80s is true. We don't know that it's true or not. We haven't seen any paperwork. But, hey, Ron, if your brother got the papers, you got the pay, player. That's it. And greed is also contagious.
Yeah. And it's unfortunate.
I mean, it's foul. Unfortunate is like you went to cross the street and got hit by a car. That's unfortunate. Completely cutting out your brother of the money that you already agreed to pay him, that's foul.
I guess when I say it's unfortunate, I mean, to be on the receiving end of that and it's your brother, it's like...
In the words of Ghostface
Really?
Killer, family ain't family no more.
Right. I would just be like, but... Or if you thought... My thing is, if you thought, if we made an agreement... Because to me, it seems like up to this point, and well, I don't know. I can't speak on that. I don't know what their history is in terms of any conflict that they may have had within the group. And I think that there may have been, if I'm not mistaken, previous conflict. I just don't know between who. Because I was going to say, y'all made this agreement back then, and it seems like you were able to come to an amicable agreement then. Like, why not just go to him and be like, okay, so we need to reevaluate the original agreement? Or...
Because greed.
Of course.
Because you retired in 89, and I still been hot in these streets, and Versus and everyone else is coming to me now during lockdowns. And so, yeah, you over there being a pastor or whatever, I'm going to get my coins too. You got your non-taxable money over there.
He thought that Rudolph was going to be drifting on a memory.
Facts. Good reference.
Thank you.
But, yeah, it's greed. I could totally see somebody who don't give a fuck doing all of that shit.
But really, Ron, he's got some work to do.
That's it.
And I'm not talking about between the sheets.
Oh, you going in now. What else you got? You gonna tell me about Mr. Biggs?
He thinks he's Mr. Biggs.
All right. Well, anything else?
And he tried to keep it on the down low.
Gotta keep it on the down low.
But like you said, greed is contagious.
Yeah, of course.
Mm-hmm. Well, okay, so